I would like to introduce Brian Treichel to come up from Thumbs Up. Treichel. Is he here?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Oh. All right, well, I suck at this, and I really didn't even prepare anything, but it turns out every client at Harmonized Health prepared something, so mine is in here. So, it's not a, I was gonna try and hold it together, but if anybody here knows me, they knew that I wasn't gonna hold it together, so. Anyways, so I'll just read mine. My experience with Harmonized Health can be summed up in one word: growth. Before meeting Kim and eventually the whole Harmonized Health, you can sub the Harmonized Health for Thumbs Up. It's all in the same. Harmonized Health was the funded pilot side of Thumbs Up. So before I started my journey with Harmonized Health, weeks after finding out that I was misdiagnosed as bipolar for 21 years, I actually had it branded on me. For 21 years I was a bipolar person. For 21 years I bounced around the public health system, seeing many psychiatrists who agreed with the bipolar. Never once was the diagnosis ever investigated. I was a sample bed for meds. I ended up seeing a bipolar specialist a few years back, and that may have done a bit more investigation. Bipolar? Nope, not anymore. But there were a few more DSM categories, north of 10 when they removed bipolar. Can't remember how many. Oh yeah, 10. Sorry. Then came a month-long crash. I wasn't upset about all my new labels. Nope. It was how to live without bipolar. I had addiction beat, at least. Then that fateful day on the Titus's driveway, Kim Titus being the people behind the Kim and Kims of the Thumbs Up. So one day on the driveway, she came to me and said, "Are you ready now?" This was after I seen the guru of bipolar that told me I wasn't bipolar. Sorry, there may be a few swear words in this. Anybody knows me, that's my best language. I can swear with the best of them. And here comes the first one. So now I gotta find it. Where was it? You gotta bear with me. I'm not good at public speaking, especially when it comes to this shit. Oh, there we go. I'm very emotional over this stuff. So here we go. Well, shit, there's that word I was looking for. May have at one point come out of my mouth, along with a few other questionable words. I had found out that this other amazing man was involved, whom already had saved my life twice. My brother Troy. Throughout my struggles with addiction and mental health, there have been so many plans and actions around mental health. Struggles. Jesus, yeah, I'm really having struggles. There have been many plans and actions around suicide. Two such times I went to Airdrie Urgent Care and met with this hulk of a man covered in tattoos, former military. How much more perfect of a brother to save my life on those two nights. I had gone back other times when I was in a shitstorm and asked to see Troy, and I was informed that Troy had moved on. Look at that, failed again, and back in the day, failing meant my life was over. Fast forward, Mrs. Kim tells me about this amazing guy she has on board to help with therapy. Guess who? Troy. Another one of my favorite words. Fuck yes. Mrs. Kim, I am in. Move on to the team at Hum. First, I met with Mike again. Tattoos, long sleeves, goatee. Right up my alley. Perfect kind of guy. This was my kind of place. Next appointment, a week or so later, was this rock star named Kaylee. Not nearly the same tough guy that I had been used to so far. Kaylee also doesn't put up with shit. Now remember that this is a week between my first two appointments. As I'm sitting in the waiting room at Hum, waiting for Kaylee, Mike walks past and sees me. Strange? Question mark. Yeah, strange. This is my second appointment, and Mike comes into the waiting room and knows my name. He remembers my whole story. This is the strange part. 21 years, I was no better than a prisoner. I was only ever a number. Every appointment I would go to, I would have to retell every portion of my story, and they usually forgot my name. I learned how to work my therapist to give the answers they wanted and the meds I thought I needed to continue to maintaining my bipolar. My third appointment was with Dr. Hajela. This man reads calculus books for breakfast, and he really does. It's sick. I went to my first appointment with Dr. Hajela, still on 3 handfuls of meds 3 times a day. It was 16 meds 3 times a day I was on. These were no longer the meds that I had the issues with, which were opioids and all that. These were prescribed psych meds. Every one of them battled each other. None of them worked together. My third appointment, Dr. Hajela. And my meds were never reevaluated throughout 21 years of bipolar. I'm now currently on 3 meds, one for stomach damage from all the meds throughout the years, one for night terrors because I spent a real long time for a while there where I had a bio bucket next to my bed because every night without fail and not warning, I would have night terrors and throw up on my floor. So we got hard floors because it was easier to clean up. So one of those is a med to control my night terrors. One's just a nerve damage, and then to control my stomach problems now. It's not that there is no place for meds. The problem is that being given the right meds for what needs to be treated. 24 months ago, I had a very difficult time writing or even forming a sentence. I couldn't on all those psych meds. My head had gone to absolute mush at this point. Words couldn't come out of my mouth properly, and I couldn't think straight. For the next 6 months was a real rough time, coming off 16 psych meds. I've had to deal with years of withdrawal coming off all the hard street drugs and farmer drugs, none of which would compare to the next 6 months. They always say that there's a rock bottom before. Oh, sorry, this is the part that's. They always say there's a rock bottom before you decide to get help. My rock bottom was my 5-year-old boy knew when to go get my wife because I had gone into the death snore. My 5-year-old knew what my death snore was. It was probably that was the point where I needed to look at it. Humility is a hard pill to swallow sometimes, and it's funny that I say pill to swallow. Throughout Dr. Hajela, Troy, and the other amazing team members in my corner, the next 6 months of hell became peaceful. I could have conversations and stay engaged. I could provide meaningful responses. Through this journey, I've learned how to fail forward and learn from failure. 6 of you here, 5 of you plus me, have all had appointments with Troy, Dr. Hajela. Us 6 understand what that means. When you fail, you don't give up. When you fail, you learn from your failure. You learn how to do it better the next time. Sorry. I never learned to give myself grace. I know that I matter first. I have learned to love myself and shine from within. I have learned to love LUV, listen, understand, and validate when it comes to my family and friends. Thanks to the wonderful Mona Cooley from Cool Family Solutions, I participated in the 10-week family program. I've done well over 10 sessions with Troy, Anchor of Hope, which is my brother Troy that I talked about. He's in Winnipeg, and him and I still talk almost daily. We became buddies through this, not just a therapist anymore. I've completed my comprehensive assessment. I've done an IOP, intensive outpatient program, 10-week family program, 10-week conflict resolution. I continue with my peers in recovery on weekly peer groups. I have learned that this team of mine isn't to fall back on. It is a team to lean in on. I also continue with Troy on an as-needed basis, which is turned out to be only about every 6 weeks now, which is incredible. I still continue on with Dr. Ajila. And where this has led me is, at 13, I didn't smoke a joint. At 13, I started cocaine. I've never done anything easy or light. It's always been full on, jump in the deep end, right? It's never simple. I did a 20 year stint on opioids. One day I took 72 opioids in 8 hours, and I lived. That wasn't the only day. My wife used to wear a key around her neck. There was a key to a safe, and that safe had all my meds in it because I couldn't be trusted. Today, thumbs up out of the 5 people in my house. Thumbs up helps 3 out of the 5 of us in that house. When we started Harmonized Health, we were only going to help 18 to 50-year-olds. My son, that I think is now warming up in the truck, is our youngest at 13, and our oldest is 70. So addiction doesn't start when you turn 18 or 21 or any of that. Addiction's a chronic brain disease that you're born with, and addiction doesn't go away till you die. You learn how to manage it, you learn how to deal with it. You learn who the people are in your corner that matter. And I was doing a golf tournament last week with Thumbs Up, and Kim came to me about this today and said, "Hey, do you think you can come up with a speech, and do you think you can take care of the table?" And not a hope in hell I can come up with a speech, but I'll wing it fairly well. So I don't know. You're not fighting alone, right? There's a statistic out there that 75% of us deal with addiction is substances or behavior, gambling, something like that. So that's 75%. 100% of people out there deal with addiction through shitty thoughts. And it's addictive thinking. AA has any steppers here, what's it called? Stinking thinking, am I right? So, it's been, back in June, I buried my 9th personal suicide that was probably the hardest because I had to look at his kids in the eyes. And it doesn't get easier. I've had 2 family members with the same name, Randy, father and son, and a grandson that's also named Randy. So we buried 2 of them due to overdose, and not far off burying the 3rd Randy out of that family. So if you think you're alone, you're not. There's teams around here. There's Thumbs Up. There's lots of things that can help out. So don't be afraid to ask, because even the big tough guys fucking ask once in a while. So I don't know. That's all I got.